Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special bonus reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Sagittarius, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information on my Buy Me a Coffee link. My official Instagram and official TikTok all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Sagittarius, I hope that you're doing well. This bonus reading today is about alchemization, the process of transmutation, of transforming things from one state of being into another, and what you are alchemizing in your life right now. I'm going to be using two decks for your reading today. The first one is the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck for the overall energy, and the Pulp Tarot for your tarot reading. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angel, spirits, guides, what messages? What messages do you have for Sagittarius, please? Okay. This is a pretty intense card. Mortification. Ooh. Very intense energy. Very dark. I feel as though the Spirit just said ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You know, a lot of the death card energy feeling is coming out now. It's not representing an actual death. It's more representing the ending of something in your life that is well overdue, and it's something that you want to come to a close. That process could have been a slow one, you know, kind of with this not nice bug energy in the middle. I mean, something's been eating away at this situation for a while. And with this eye here, it's kind of like you were aware of it, like you could see it happening. And thank you, Spirit. And what you yearned for was this kind of radiant, powerful light energy. It was like you were constricted here, but you could see what was on the outside of it. It's interesting. I don't know what the word mortification means, like in that active sense, but when someone is mortified, it's like a intense embarrassment. Like when somebody says, oh my God, I was so mortified. It's like, oh my God, I wanted to die. Like, it was so embarrassing. Mom and dad, they were so embarrassing, right? It's this feeling, being mortified. It's just like wanting to shrink down into nothing. Because of a situation or circumstance that has occurred. So I'm not sure if those two, mortification and mortified, they seem like they would be related somehow. I'm not sure at this time what that is, but I do see this kind of pulverization, like being pulverized into something is needing to be completely transformed in its essence in order to be regenerated into something new. This could be also talking about the death of an ego, the death of a certain identity that you held for a long time. You're just kind of letting that go. Spirit's giving me a very personal example, but I'm going to share it because they gave it to me. It's like, you You know, for the longest time, I did not engage in any like dating or anything like that, because I had, I'm very independent. I'm a very independent person, but I also had a lot of body dysmorphia issues that are not nearly as intense as other people's, but still, like, you know, I just did not find myself to be somebody who's attractive. And it wasn't until I actually like kind of hunkered down and said, I need to go out on a date, that I've realized like attractiveness is truly in the eye of the beholder. So no, I'm not going to be attractive to everybody, but I am attractive to somebody. Whereas I never thought I was attracted to anybody, right? And this was a while ago. I mean, sometimes I still face it. I don't know, you know, it's insecurities, right? But I did not understand that until I literally had to overcome fear and switch the narrative for myself to say, you are not an unattractive person. It's not just about your outer looks, it's about your heart. It's about your love. It's about your friendship. There's so many things about you that are appealing to somebody else. It's not just one thing. But this was like, you know, years ago. It's like I had to really tell myself that because I just didn't believe it, right? So there's something here that just, but it was a part of my ego that had to kind of die out. I had to say goodbye to that person who just completely doubted herself and thought she was ugly and thought she wasn't good enough. I had to say goodbye to that part of my ego, because in a way that part of my ego was keeping me safe. Because if I don't draw attention to myself, if I don't, you know, try to date or anything, then no one can reject me, right? This is a classic story for a lot of people. So that spirit just was giving me that example of this disillusion of the ego, this collapsing down of the ego. So I'm going to get 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier. These are just channeled messages. There's no past, present, or future this time around. For Sagittarius, we start with the 6 of Wands. This is really saying to me, don't dim to fit in. Don't dim your light to fit in. 6 of Wands is victory, accolades, promotion, public recognition. It's the opposite of shrinking down. It's almost as if, you know, when I said all that, Sagittarius collective was like, we know, we're coming out. Look at this lady on top of the car. It's almost like you're the lady on top of the car. It's just like, look at me, I'm fabulous. And this guy, he's just my driver. You know, I'm really showing my stuff for the first time. And it's clarified by the Ace of Wands, because Spirit is really giving me the energy and the impetus and the ideas to make bold moves. That's the Ace of Wands. All the aces bring new from Spirit, new possibility, new potentiality. We ourselves have to take that potentiality and do something with it. And I feel as though we're starting off the energy strong. You know, the reading is like, yeah, I'm doing something with it. I'm making sure that I'm being seen and heard and recognized for how much intensity I bring to the table, how much passion I bring, how much creativity I bring. That's Wands energy. Can we dig a little deeper, Spirit? What are we doing with this Wands energy? What is Sagittarius bringing to the table? Two of Wands in reverse and the Star. They're making their wishes come true. Two of Wands in the reverse suggests to me that there's no indecision. There's no questioning as to which direction you're moving into, which is what the card would be in the upright. You're very sure about yourself, which is good. And the Star energy is Aquarius energy, major arcana number 17, and it talks about wish fulfillment, healing, dreaming a lot bigger than we normally would dream for ourselves. It's our time. I just heard it's our time. It's my time. Right? It also this card also talks about fame and fortune. So these two cards, I mean, I don't know if you're being recognized for something in a public situation. If you are putting yourself in that situation, like Spirit's showing me that like my boss was recently on a podcast, and I watched his podcast episode. He was being interviewed, and I was like, well, look at you. You could be a podcaster, right? So I feel like maybe some of you are getting into podcasting, you know, like putting yourselves in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, having your voice be heard. You have good things to say. And you're getting good feedback, I feel like. You're getting good feedback. There's no hesitation. In the next card, we have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. So this is really interesting to me because the Eight of Cups in the upright talks about walking away from scenarios that do not serve you, that might have been good for a time. We did what we could, we partied while we could, and now it's time to walk away, to move on. But when the card is in reverse, it's kind of like, for me, as a reader, the Eight of Cups in reverse represents a homecoming. For me, in this reading, it represents like a coming back to the self. So, I'm not trying to talk about myself, but like Spirit is giving it to me, so just to be able to relate, right? So, I went through that phase of like understanding, like, oh, I could, you know, get dates and attract people, but they were not the people that I wanted to attract necessarily. And after my spiritual awakening, I realized I feel a lot more confident now, but I've been single a very long time. And it's because I returned back to myself. And I feel as though your glow up, which is what this represents to me, is because you had this energy. Like you're facing this energy. You're coming back to the self, and you're alchemizing kind of all of the darkness and shadow and trauma and fears and ego and hang-ups, so that you can radiate out like this, so you can be a light to others. It's clarified by the Four of Cups in the reverse. See that hand coming through the window? That's Spirit's hand, just like this one, except it has a cup. The Wands energy is all about inertia, fire energy. The Cups is all about feelings and emotions. When the card is in the upright, we're not seeing it from Spirit. We're totally oblivious. But when the card is in reverse, it's like, yes, finally, I've been waiting. I've turned around. Thank you, Spirit. Yes, I accept this cup. I accept this cup of self-acceptance, self-love. That's what they just gave me. That's really beautiful. Very good. And a clarifier on that. Too many, Spirit. Just one, please. Three of Pentacles. Co-creating with Spirit. I think all of this is happening after you've done some deep contemplation with yourself. It's like you've really wanted to conspire with spirit to manifest, to heal, to see how far your magic can go. Like, how much can you actually bring down from the ether into your life? It's really amazing when you do it. The things that I've manifested and attracted towards me, some were on purpose and some were not on purpose. I mean, it humbles me. Spirit, I feel very humbled when I receive such blessings. And I have to remember that I'm worthy, because sometimes I feel like I'm not. Right? That's this energy cropping up again. So I feel like you're like, all right, Spirit, what's the plan? What's the next step? What's the plan? We're in it to win it. Sagittarius is in it to win it. Ending the reading, though, there are still some loose threads that need to be addressed with the World card in the reverse. Number 21 of the Major Arcana. Whenever I mention Major Arcana, I'm talking about very divinely guided energies. Spirit is indicating to me that you have some unfinished business. Unfinished business related to your stability or lack thereof, with the Four of Wands in the reverse, which talks about stability, talks about celebration, portal energy, sometimes known as the Twin Flame card. The fact that these two cards are in reverse, though, it's kind of like what I was just saying. Like, sometimes this rears its ugly head. Like, you think you smashed it, right? Stomp, 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 smash, smash, smash. I don't know why. That just felt like a total Simpsons reference. You might like The Simpsons or have a connection to The Simpsons in some way. But Spirit is saying that you must be cognizant and aware of when you're on such a roll to really help yourself by staying grounded, but also help yourself by like understanding that you deserve this kind of recognition and awards. Because there's something here that it's like, if you don't address it, if you don't put an end to it, it's gonna keep being an issue. Can I have a clarifier about what that is? It's like a setback. A Spirit just said a minor inconvenience, so that's not like a big thing. Look, this is the perfect card to describe what I just said. The number 8 card, the Strength card, Leo energy in the Major Arcana. This is a card of the ego and a mastery of the ego. See how she's so comfortable leaning on top of this big bad lion? The lion represents the ego, represents fear, and a mastery of it. It's the Strength card. When the card is in reverse, which is how you just got it, it's like Spirit saying to me, be careful. Be careful that you don't fall back into an old way of thinking that might be where you put yourself down for some reason. And I don't know if you're like totally conscious of it either. It's just like there's some fear that might sit in, like, oh, like I don't want to do that, or I can't do that, or I shouldn't do that. That'll be too big. Like, you know, what am I going to do out there in the big lights? Sometimes when your calling calls you, it requires you to step up to the plate. And something is asking you to step up to the plate. There's this whole process of transformation here happening. But Spirit wants to shine this light on you. Who are you to say no to that? Right? I'm going to read from the book Mortification. LXE. Is this the last? No. Decay, death, decomposition. Mortificatio is the great alchemical operation of darkness. What was once composed now decomposes. What was once presentable is now despicable. This stage cannot be avoided. The underworld has taken us into the dark interior of its belly, and here we reside until spring. Through the natural process of decay, we descend into depths we didn't know existed. The alchemist soon finds mortificatio is a stage of regeneration and sacred power, where the soil is fertile and rich, offering nourishment for tomorrow. This stage cannot be rushed. The darkness must have time to do its work, to dismantle and to loosen, to free us from old scripts and stories. As we learn to surrender to this great operation, the earth churns and wisdom whispers in the dark. She envelops us with grace and the promise of what's to come. So that's your reading, Sagittarius. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Sag.